Few machines of war inspire as much awe and dread as the Tiger I, Germany's iconic heavy tank of World War II. To Allied soldiers, the sight, or even rumor, of one rolling onto the battlefield was enough to send chills down the spine. With its thick armor, devastating gun, and fearsome reputation, the Tiger I became a symbol of battlefield dominance and German engineering prowess. But behind the myth lies a story of innovation, desperation, and flaws that shaped both its legacy and its downfall. Origins of a Titan. The idea for what would become the Tiger tank began long before the first one ever clattered onto the battlefield. In the mid-1930s, the German army sought a new breakthrough tank, a machine capable of smashing through fortified lines and shrugging off enemy fire. The task fell to several major industrial firms, with Henschel and Porsche leading the charge. Initially, the design requirements were modest: thick armor and a 75mm gun. But as Europe plunged into war in 1939, combat against French Char B-1s, British Matildas, and later the Soviet KV-1 and T-34 forced the Germans to rethink everything. The T-34 in particular shocked German commanders. It was mobile, rugged, and heavily armored, qualities their current tanks struggled to match. By 1941, as Operation Barbarossa ground across the vast Soviet steppe, the need for a new heavy tank became urgent. A competition was staged between Porsche and Henschel prototypes. In the end, Henschel's design proved more reliable, and after input from Krupp and other firms, the Panzerkampfwagen 6 Tiger was born. Later, when the Tiger II appeared, this original model earned the designation Tiger I, a monster on tracks. The Tiger I was nothing short of colossal, weighing in at about 57 metric tons, nearly 63 US tons. It was almost twice as heavy as the Soviet T-34. Measuring nearly 28 feet long, over 10 feet wide, and 10 feet tall, it dominated the battlefield both physically and psychologically. Its sheer size created logistical challenges. Many bridges simply couldn't handle its weight, forcing German engineers to equip the Tiger with features for river crossings: a watertight hull, a long snorkel for submerged operations, and pumps to bail out water. For soldiers seeing it for the first time, its size alone screamed invincibility. Armament: the deadly 88. If the Tiger I had a signature, it was its gun, the 88mm KWK 36L/56. Adapted from the famous German 88 anti-aircraft cannon, this weapon earned a terrifying reputation. It could punch through the thickest Allied armor at ranges where enemy tanks couldn't even scratch the Tiger in return. In addition to the main gun, the Tiger carried up to 3 MG-34 machine guns, one mounted in the hull, one coaxial with the cannon, and an optional third on the turret roof for anti-aircraft or infantry defense. Together, this arsenal made the Tiger a formidable opponent against tanks, infantry, and even low-flying planes. Armor: fortress on tracks. The Tiger's defenses were equally impressive. Its frontal armor was 100 millimeters thick, about 4 inches of hardened steel, while its sides were 80 millimeters. Constructed from a nickel-steel alloy that was less brittle than earlier German armor, it could shrug off most Allied anti-tank weapons of the time. Unlike the sloped armor of the T-34, the Tiger's armor was flat, giving it its distinctive boxy appearance. Though less efficient geometrically, the sheer thickness often compensated, allowing the Tiger to withstand astonishing punishment before succumbing. Power and mobility. At first, the Tiger was powered by the Maybach HL210V12 engine, producing 650 horsepower. But this proved inadequate for a vehicle of such size. Later models were upgraded to the Maybach HL230, delivering over 700 horsepower. On paved roads, the Tiger could reach about 25 miles per hour, though cross-country its speed was far less. Its 125-gallon fuel capacity gave it a range of only 45 to 75 miles, depending on terrain, earning it a reputation as a gas guzzler. The Tiger was a predator, but one that needed constant feeding. Wheels, suspension, and ride. The Tiger's mobility relied on a unique suspension system. It rode on 48 interleaved road wheels, which distributed its immense weight and allowed for surprisingly smooth travel. However, this complexity made maintenance a nightmare. To replace a single inner wheel, several outer ones had to be removed. Early wheels were rubber-lined, but shortages forced Germany to switch to all-steel designs by 1944. Engineers also simplified production by reducing the number of wheels per side. Combined with torsion bar suspension and shock absorbers, the Tiger offered a ride that was smoother than many Allied crews might expect from such a beast. Crew, masters of the beast. Inside the Tiger were 5 men. At the front sat the driver and radio operator. In the turret, the commander took position at the rear, the gunner sat in front of him, and the loader worked opposite. Because of its prestige, Tiger crews were carefully selected and trained. Many were even sent directly to the Henschel factories to study the tank systems firsthand. These men were not just soldiers, they were custodians of one of Germany's most prized weapons. Production: high cost, low numbers. The first Tigers rolled out in April 1942, entering combat just months later. But producing them was an immense strain. Each tank cost about 250,000 Reichsmarks, roughly double that of the Panzer V or Panther. Manufacturing one required nearly 300,000 man-hours, again almost twice the effort of a Panther. In total, only about 1,354 Tiger-Is were built before production ceased in August 1944 in favor of the Tiger II. Variants included command tanks with extra radios and the Sturm Tiger, which carried a gargantuan 380mm mortar designed to obliterate fortifications. The Tiger roars. The Tiger's combat debut came on the Eastern Front near Leningrad in August 1942. Its true test, however, was the Battle of Kursk in 1943, the largest tank battle in history. While the Tiger proved formidable, it also revealed flaws. Mechanical failures were frequent, and many were abandoned after gearbox or engine breakdowns. Yet when they worked, Tigers were unmatched. Allied crews watched in horror as their shells bounced harmlessly off its armor, while the Tiger's 88mm cannon destroyed their tanks with ease. One of the most famous examples came from Michael Wittmann, a Tiger commander who, in a single engagement, destroyed 14 British tanks, 15 armored personnel carriers, and 2 anti-tank guns in under 15 minutes. Such exploits fueled the phenomenon of Tigerphobia, where Allied troops feared encountering Tigers even when none were present. Myth versus reality. The Tiger's reputation often overshadowed its real impact. Though terrifying, it was plagued by reliability issues and logistical challenges. Its high cost and low production numbers meant it could never replace Germany's more numerous medium tanks. But perception mattered. For many Allied soldiers, the mere possibility of facing a Tiger was enough to cause anxiety. Even today, myths persist that it took 5 Allied tanks to bring down a single Tiger. A legend rooted more in fear than fact. Legacy of the Tiger One. By the war's end, most Tigers had been destroyed, abandoned, or captured. Today, only a handful remain, and just one still operates. Tiger 131, proudly displayed at the Tank Museum in Bovington, UK. The Tiger. It remains a paradox. It was over-engineered, costly, and flawed, yet also one of the most feared and celebrated tanks in history. Its legacy endures not just in history books, but in films, games, and the imaginations of anyone fascinated by the machines of war. And that wraps up our deep dive into the legendary Tiger I tank, a machine that struck fear into the battlefield and left behind a legacy still remembered today. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more history brought to life, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Got a favorite World War II vehicle or battle you'd like us to cover? Drop it down in the comments. We read every single one. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring history.